That's great.
So no, I didn't boomer it. It just didn't work. That's why there was a
Technical
gap there.
difficulties already.
I was like,
Technical
like that when you-
difficulties beyond our control.
when you have to start it off with "I didn't boomer it," you know it's going to be a good day. You know it's going to be a real good day.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a good.
I didn't boomer
a
it.
good
I
day.
swear.
Yeah, we got the first up to bat's Abby. Someone in the chat. Hello, Abby.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Abby.
Good morning. File 13 says hello. Yeah. So good morning, everybody. An afternoon in Europe. Thank you for showing up today. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell for all notifications. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go around the horn this morning. We have file 13. Good morning.
Your mic's not working, buddy. We can't hear you.
You're
Nope.
silent.
All right. His
It's just
his
like,
impressions
It's
of
not
a
got the mute
mime.
symbol on, so
Okay. Well,
he's going to give us ASL over there.
I guess we really are having technical difficulties today.
We really are. What a day.
I know. Well, good morning, Crual Birab. How are you?
So, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, it's been a nice day again. So
Good shit going on.
it's all good. It's all good.
Hello. Let's go. Settings.
There we go.
Audio.
Mr.
And the mic
There you go.
seems to be working
Mr.
fine.
File 13.
Very good.
has shown
I'm sorry,
up
guys.
for the stream now.
You really want to start
did
this
do it.
shit this early, Wookie? Jesus Christ. Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
Hey, everybody, make sure to, because this guy sucks at doing this. Give me a second. Hey, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe to Wookie's channel. He fucking sucks at making intros. It's worthless. Fucking worthless. So listen, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure the little fucking heart thing and his thing. He also doesn't share his shit, which he should. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hey, Luke, thank you for coming on. We do appreciate
It's
your
my
time
pleasure.
and doing stuff. Hey, Cruel, how you doing? Things are good. Just testing the mic.
I'm
All right,
good,
go,
thank
Wookie. You're up. You're up, buddy. Do this shit. You have the fucking
Thank you
power.
so much for your. Thank you so much, File 13, for your generosity
Hey,
and
I'm fucking done.
thoughtfulness. You're
Go.
And he's spent. He is spent, my friends.
he's done. He's out. He lost at the morning dance off against his kids. Now he's done.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to say a very special thank you and hello to Luke Stone for coming on today. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing great, man. This is fun already. I'm having a good time. Yeah. It's nice to be here. Nice to meet you guys. Like I see you
Yes,
around,
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
but this
for,
is the first
likewise.
chat that we've had. Yeah. Cool. I always love hanging out with people that are on the other side of the pond. And Scotland is
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
places I was a youth pastor. I was supposed to be taking a group of. I had just started a job at a church. Was supposed to take a group of kids on their Scotland trip, and I wound up getting pushed out of being able to take them by some of the other. We're going to leave that alone. I'm not going to go into that. But I didn't get to go to Scotland,
I am
so
incredibly upset. How dare you not get to Scotland?
one of my goals.
Bye bye.
One of my daughter's best friends is in Scotland, and one of my goals is to go at Christmas time and to see the Coos. I want to see the Highland
All
Coos,
right. See the coos.
and I want to
See the
spend
coos,
Christmas in Scotland. Yep,
Right.
yep.
Very nice.
It's a goal of mine.
cool.
You need to do it. Come on. Come on.
I know,
We'll
right?
crash
So-
at Cruel's house. I'm joking.
Postman Socrates
well,
in the
isn't it?
chat says that Bancroft had this guy, probably meaning Luke, on his channel and a couple weeks ago and found my comic is a very good site.
Thank you.
It is. And we're going to learn more about that
Postman.
It's going very
here
well.
not too short of time. We got T Bunny in the chat. He says hello. He's traveling in his car, but he's
Hey.
listening. So behave, Willie P. So
Will Willie P behave? He must have already missed
I know, right?
rant number 1.
number one.
Rant number one. You're muted, Willie.
Yeah, I mute myself because what happens is sometimes I actually go on a rant and then I rather not. So I just keep that shit muted until I'm like, you know what, it's time to
There
rant.
he goes.
I apologize for that. It
That's
happens.
smart.
There he
That's
goes.
smart. I get it.
Uh,
I have a little filter, little to no filter now, so I should probably just walk around with duct tape on my mouth.
So yeah, we got a new person in the chat. Immortal Rising Comic Book says,
Hello.
"Hail! Thank
Hey,
you for
what's up,
coming in the chat and
Yo,
watching.
¿qué
the
pasa,
show.
Immortal?
Please like, share, and subscribe to the
¿Qué
channel.
pasa?
Where you go?
So let's take a look at what's in on today's wonderfulness of the world around us. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell and
Hit the
click all
notification button as
notifications.
well. Notification.
Tickle the bell.
Tickle the bell.
Tickle the bell.
So now we have our wonderful celebrity fashion of the week, and I pulled these two off. The first one you're going to see, it reminded me. As soon as I saw the picture, I went full Monty Python. It was yeah. You'll see. This one's from the great Nicki Minaj.
Oh my.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects. Holy cow.
Or you could go Palpatine in that red Sith.
Yes, that's
Sith
There's
right.
definitely a
Weird
Sith
at the end
vibe
of the
going
day.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yes.
like maybe I don't know, like maybe some kind of like underworld vibe.
You know what she looks like? She looks like one of those fucking. She looks like one of those toys that comes in a 5-pack of fucking like bootleg toys. Like
Yes.
she would be like
Oh, those weird ones.
yeah, the weird fucking toys. That's like she's supposed to be like
Yeah, we
Fire
looked
Witch
at-
or
yeah,
some
yeah,
shit. She looks like one of the 5-packs, like a really shitty 5-pack.
You know what?
That's
She
it
looks
to
like
me.
Very.
she looks like one of those action figures that we took a look at last year
Yeah.
in the weird.
Yeah. That's what I was
funny
thinking. Those really creepy toys. Yeah.
Yes,
my
the creepy. Yeah.
goodness.
She looks like she's getting ready to, like she's dressed up for a party at the Bohemian Grove or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
I was
well,
waiting to
it's- yeah,
say something
I
to
think
that
it's the
effect.
Grammys from
Yeah, but
a few years back. So yeah.
She's like the head from that Hulu TV show with all the people dressed in red. What the hell is that damn show? Come on.
Oh,
don't know.
my wife watched a couple of episodes and turned it off.
The bridesmaid or something like that, the housemaid or fuck it. Now I gotta look shit up.
The
One
Maiden's
second,
Tale.
please. The Maid's Tale. Yeah, I
the one?
think that's what it is. Maid's Tale. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ding,
it's
ding,
Handmaid's
ding, ding.
Tale.
Where's the bell?
See?
Fuck, I don't have no
Handmaid's
bell.
Tale.
Yeah, Handmaid's
Ding,
Tale.
ding.
That's what it is.
Where's the bell? I don't know. I don't have a Stream Deck yet.
Everybody,
Yeah, Handmaid's Tale. But,
let's
this
take up
is
a
Nicki
collection so
Minaj.
Wookie
It's
can get a
all
stream
good.
deck.
Start a GoFundMe.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. It is in perfect form for the preacher to take up an offering. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
can I get an offering from a man Wookie? He can't find the bell. He can't find the bell. He needs a stream deck today. Bless God. Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
I didn't get much sleep last night.
Not much sleep. I was about to say, how much sleep have you
You
really
know,
got?
you do know, Luke, are you aware that Sam Kinison was an ordained minister?
I am, yeah, I'm fully aware of that, yeah. How do you think he had those lungs, man?
I know.
You know, that's the only thing that's saving me this post-COVID is the fact that I had preaching lungs.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
an ordained minister. What?
You
Is
are?
he?
Way to
Yeah, I'm an ordained
You are?
minister. You know that?
No, I
did
wasn't
not know that.
aware.
I'm an ordained.
If you told me, it didn't.
yeah, you
register,
probably wouldn't even
but-
believe it. Yeah, I know. It's kind of fucking crazy, huh? Damn. So is my wife. We both are. It's strange.
Nice.
Did you do that? Is one of those internet things, or did you go to
No,
seminary?
we actually did some stuff and did some work and actually wanted to learn it. I don't consider myself anything specific. I'm more of like omnis, if you know what that is. So
Okay.
I thought it would be interesting to get what is the word? The ordained, so then I can actually, if anybody was interested in doing some other stuff and speak about stuff, I don't stick to anything specific. I don't believe in that. I think speaking to everybody just equally, not trying to convince anybody anything. Just more of just listening.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of different things. I just see things from a different perspective. That's all. I'd rather just listen than talk. In that, when it comes to those type of things.
I mean, you're proving it right now. Oh man, I killed the chat. Did you hear
Stream killer.
that? Oh
Stream
man.
killer.
Oh my gosh, I went.
Uh,
I'm just teasing. I'm just messing with you.
So, Hostman Socrates in the chat says,
Oh,
she looks like a cleric in the Church of
She
Moloch.
really does. She really
Pretty
does.
much.
That's-
Moloch, Baal.
Oh, and Bossy B in the chat says, so is File an ordained minister?
Yeah,
Bossy
babe.
B, thank you
That-
very
you know
much for
that
coming to the chat. We appreciate you being here,
I mean,
Bossy B. Please
yes,
like
Bossy
your
B.
profile.
So have you done
Telepathic-
weddings and stuff, File? Have you
I
done?
haven't. You know what? I haven't done anything like that. Well,
I hate
Yeah.
doing weddings.
no comment. No comment. I'm not going to say anything.
I hate doing weddings.
And you know what the thing is, because the states have different laws when it comes to weddings, and
Yep.
and you really have to. Okay. So when it comes to weddings and stuff like that, it's very strict because there are certain licenses or certain states that don't allow you that you're ordained to actually sign wedding. All that
Yep.
shit
Mhm.
stuff. Shit, I don't care.
I'm in Indiana now. I had to switch my credentials from Florida to Indiana,
That's what. Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
and I'm like, yeah. So I had to have it on so I could be legal here if I do a funeral, even. And I'm like, man. Oh, and I hate doing funerals, man. Those things
Oh,
are.
man.
That's
no, thank you. No, thank you.
when
I
it
did a
com-
bunch
when
of
it
those
comes-
when I was in the service. I don't want to do any more.
When it comes
which
to
is
the
why
weddings,
I'm not in a pulpit right now. I'm drawing cartoons for a living.
When it comes to weddings, you just do it the Spaceballs way. Do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Good.
Right.
You're married.
You're-
Exactly.
You know what, Cruel? You are absolutely 1,000% right. But honestly, weddings are worse than funerals because the people are worse. I mean, they're terrible. People are like, ugh.
Yeah,
They go
no,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Been there,
Now-
done that. I was at 3 of them, all my own. So, yeah, I know what you mean.
Right? Yeah. He's what we
Poor
would call
Wookie.
expert mode.
I
in
mean,
weddings.
yes, expert mode.
He's probably been in more weddings than I have.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
my first wife back in 1990, what was it, when we got married, it was a big shindig. So we had, this was in San Diego, so it was at her family's church, the big church. Her minister did the officiating and everything. Then we had a big reception in the hall next door. All kinds of stuff, right? Big tuxedos. All the bridesmaids had gowns. All the Abby, someone was there. He knows the whole shindig. He got a book out of the thing as a gift. So all this crap, right? So that marriage lasted about 5.5 years. So my second one was in Vegas at one of those, what the heck was it? One of those famous little guys, like the White Bells or something like that. I don't know what it was. Anyway, it's the
All
church
right.
that Rodney had gotten married in once or twice, Rodney Dangerfield. Anyway, and there was some lady there officiating, but that was an easy one. You had to go down to the courthouse and they just, okay, here you go, no problem. And we went over there. The officiant signed it and we took it back and it was all good, right? I didn't have to buy a tuxedo or anything like that, but the wife number 2 decided she wanted to get a dress, and that lasted less than 6 years too. So number 3 and we're both our number 3s. She's been married 2 times before me. I'm 2 times before her. So we said, you know what, in Arizona. So we just went down to the courthouse, filled all the paperwork, went into a courtroom. The judge did the, do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Okay, great. Here you go. You're legally married. 15 days later, we had my wife's grandfather, who was a retired ordained minister. He did the family, quote unquote, the family wedding. So we had all kinds of family members on both sides of the family and friends here in Arizona. We had it at a rec room at an RV park. And So
Nice.
the wedding cake was just a big, huge, giant stack of Hostess cupcakes, Twinkies, ding dongs, you name it, Hostess. And we had no leftovers. And that's lasted, what am I married? We're 15 years now.
Hey, congratulations. Good job. So the shortest marriage that I ever officiated, we made sure, like, so doing some pre-counseling, they said, here's you make sure you get up there a couple of weeks early, get your paperwork, everything. And I said, we're going to go through the thing. After it's done, I'll sign the paperwork, and then it'll be official, right? Whatever. So we get through the whole ceremony, and afterwards, and they come back in from pictures, and I'm like, hey, all right, where's that marriage license? Let me sign it. Like, oh, we didn't get that. I said, then you're not married. They're like, what? I said, you're not married. What do you mean I'm not? We just had the ceremony. Well, it's not legal because you didn't get the paperwork, folks. So the shortest marriage that I ever did, that I officiated, lasted 0 seconds. I mean,
Wow.
they were never actually officially married, so.
Wow.
Which worked out because they wound up getting in a fight and moving out, breaking up like a couple weeks later. I was like,
Wow.
they just saved a lot of paperwork.
Somebody just both of them dodged a big bullet there.
They really did.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
The kicker is they'd already been together for like 15 years and had like 3 kids.
Oh my
Right?
goodness.
So it was like, oh, all right, I'm just getting married. I'm like, you guys still aren't married. Like, you're not married. What do you mean we're not married? I mean, let me slow it down. You, the two of you, are not married. Not married. Still single. Still just dating. That's it.
Ready to go.
So yeah. I don't volunteer for that stuff anymore. I don't like doing that.
Oh, I don't blame you.
That was my least favorite part of pastoring. That sucked.
Now on to Conan
Now
O'Brien.
those are some tight pants.
What the heck?
He has to know that looks funny.
I
That's
think
why
this was from whenever his show was actually relevant back in the day. He did this. He came out. I remember.
Did that bit there had to be.
Yeah,
My gosh, you can see his
Yikes,
leg hair through those jeans.
I don't. Yeah. Did you ever watch an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when Danny DeVito comes out with his characters wearing skinny jeans and he looks like a Humpty Dumpty? That's yeah.
At least Conan's got the beanpole body for this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He's not ill proportioned.
If I was wearing those, I would be like, I'd look a little bit like a toad. I think that's what.
Yeah.
He's clearly
I'm
circumcised.
I feel oh my gosh.
My
Hang on
very
a
gay
sec.
uncle.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes,
this is good. This is priceless. I'm so
And
glad
then-
I'm here.
Thank
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yes.
This is perfect.
He clearly is. He is.
Wow.
First, these are leggings. Just a
Abby-
heads up. He's
Abby's
actually
coming.
wearing leggings.
Yeah.
All right.
And I got to tell you, man, he's got a competition with Tony Danza. You ever seen Tony Danza in the Spider-Man outfit? Come on.
No.
I have not seen that one.
Oh, you got it. Hey, Wookie,
I'm
stop being
Googling it right
lazy
now.
and put side by side
Googling right
fucking.
I don't. I got things to do. Leave me alone. Damn you. Oh. Okay. Now here's the fun news. So I'm
That's
gonna.
fun of you?
The fun news. Yes,
There's
the
fun
fun news. There is fun news, and it involves a food fight.
Ooh,
Yeah, involves a food fight. So it involves pizza specifically. So
Okay.
I'm going to
Oh no.
add this. Oh no!
Oh
Oh no! All right.
What the heck?
Oh,
What the heck?
dear God, Willie.
Okay.
Fucking told you.
I
told
Googled that.
you.
I should not have Googled that.
Don't do that.
I had to do it. I had to do it.
Well, so the news says here it's the from the national
Mule.
news,
Complete
whatever.
mule.
Yeah. Florida man arrested for slapping wife with pizza. Crime scene splattered with sauce.
It had to be a Florida man, didn't it? Dear God.
Yes, they always got to put that in there. Well, Florida
It's
man,
always a Florida
39, admitted to striking his wife with a slice of pizza last Friday. The two got into a verbal altercation after the wife physically disciplined, spanked their kid's ass, their child. Responding officers noted that the walls and ceiling of the scene were covered with pizza sauce.
Wow, that was like a Super Saiyan slap. He rolled a crit 20, man.
I know.
Like that's a nat 20 on that one.
So the Florida man slapped his wife in the face with a slice of pizza after the latter physically disciplined their son, leaving the scene splattered with sauce. Police documents say 2 officers were dispatched to a residence in Marion County Friday afternoon over a 911 hang-up and possible domestic disturbance, according to a probable cause affidavit obtained by the smoking gun. The responding officers learned that a man identified as Ortelio Alfonso had a verbal altercation with his wife, who was not named. Alfonso, 39, was upset after the physical disciplining of their son on his bottom area, his wife told police. Alfonso then got in her face and began to point at her face, but did not strike her before grabbing a slice of pizza and using the piece of bread to slap her.
Sounds like a new TikTok challenge.
All right,
Waiting.
we've got another hardened criminal here.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
boy, what you
their
in
son was
for?
allegedly-
I slapped my wife
know,
with a
right?
pizza.
Slap her with their slice of pizza. So their son was allegedly not present during the incident as he was outside at the time. One of the officers observed the victim of to have pizza sauce over the front of her shirt, the collar of her shirt, and rear portion of her skirt. Alfonso's wife also had remnants of pizza in her hair and ear. The victim allowed me to view the interior of the residence where the incident occurred.
Daddy
I
had
observed-
mommy with pizza.
I observed there to be pizza sauce on the walls and ceiling of the kitchen area, which further corroborated the victim's statement, police said in an affidavit.
I would have loved to have been the officers called
What
out.
kind of pizza was it? Did they tell you?
Well,
I don't
Jeez,
think
of
they
course
state that. Alfonso reportedly admitted to striking his wife after being handcuffed and read his rights, claiming that he threw the pizza and did not physically strike the victim with his hands, just with the pizza.
it's pizza. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a food fight.
he was arrested on a misdemeanor battery count and
So
booked
it's
into
an
county jail before being released Saturday. Alfonso, who works for a landscaping firm and lives in an Ocala suburb, is
This
scheduled to
makes
be
total
arraigned
sense.
next week.
This makes total sense, guys. I'm telling you.
So
I know that
it
area.
was an assault pizza then. Assault
Look,
weapon, assault.
how do you go to jail and tell people, "Well, I got in a food fight"? That's not like hardened criminal stuff, right? How do you arrest someone for
That's why.
smacking someone with a piece of pizza? And I know that there are murderers and meth dealers.
That's why I was
There's all of
taking.
that,
That's why I was
but-
taking the Mickey out of it. It's just like I slapped my wife with a pizza. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. Doesn't it?
It's like getting arrested for jaywalking, or worse yet, loitering.
Right.
What are you in for?
Oh, we got
Just
a hard
hanging
case
out.
here, boys. We've got a hard case here. He's having a pizza. Oh, I'm scared now.
I love it.
Also, Socrates in his chat says, "Why can't my girlfriend slather me with food?" Wait, what?
Yeah.
He meant can't. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Osman also says, "Oh man, some guys have all the fun." Yeah, they do. They do. Let's see here real quick. Let's go back. Oh, yeah. So
And like forever, there's gonna be like that. Remember that time you had me arrested for smacking you with pizza? Remember that time?
so this one
It
here
sounds
is
like
a
the kind of thing you
long.
would do when you're drunk.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guarantee
Sounds like
alcohol was involved. I
Yeah.
guarantee alcohol was involved. There's no way two
There
sober
has to
people
be.
did that.
Anything's possible in this day and age.
that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Anything's possible, unfortunately. So here's the second news story. It involves the classic 1966 Batmobile. And
Wow, yeah.
so, yeah, we're going to go and take a look. This is a long and drawn out one. Let me go over here so that Willie can berate me even more about, oh no, it is on the screen. San Mateo County releases Batmobile report. This involves a incident that has its roots all the way back to 2017. So, to give a little backstory on this, there is one licensed custom manufacturer for this type of Batmobile in the United States. It's out of Indiana. I don't know the guy's exact name, but the company that he has does nothing but these Batmobiles. He makes them custom, exactly like the original Batman.
To the letter.
Yeah,
Perfect.
to the letter. Everything, inside and out. I don't know if he's using a Ford Futura chassis because that's exactly what the original was based on. Was a Ford Futura. Possibly, don't know. Or a model car that's has the exact same wheelbase. Anyway, so the article said this is basically this article came about because a retired judge was tasked by the County Board of Supervisors of the County of San Mateo in California to investigate basically WTF happened with this whole debacle. It boils down to that the gentleman in the car, as you see here on the screen, he's the owner of the company that makes these out of Indiana. He had a client out of San Mateo, California. It was a big real estate guy. He wanted to order one of these. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars this thing costs, but
$250,000. The owner of the company
There
is
you
Mark
go.
Brackhop.
there
He's
you
out
go.
of and these cars are one-offs as far as the way they're made. They're made from the ground up. They take direct models from the original Batmobile. It's hard to get these exact vehicles and the cost. So these are just one up because that's one of the issues on the story was the VIN. If it was a vehicle that was from another, it would have a VIN. It would already have a VIN, but because these are one of a kinds, they get a specific VIN once they're made, and that's kind of like I guess the direction that you were going, Wookie. One of the biggest issues as to why there was a dispute.
Yeah. And so what had happened was there was the customer was kind of impatient and he had made some payments and he was supposed to make a final payment scheduled to, I'm assuming. Something happened. There was a breakdown between the manufacturer and the customer, and the customer decided that they did not want to pay the remaining balance or whatever as far as the payment is concerned, did not want to make it, or there's something about the payment issue. Because it's not really specified here, but let me go ahead and read this as I think about the exact thing. So the saga of the Batmobile continues in San Mateo County with a public release of an independent report that found the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office practiced poor judgment when deciding to use county resources when launching investigations into a civil business dispute. So basically what happened was the customer that was trying to buy this tried to take the owner of the company to civil court in California. The judge said, Copperwalk, you got to file that in in Indiana. It ain't going to work here. He's in Indiana. He's got to file your civil case there. Then he tried to do a police thing with the San Mateo City Police Department, and they said there's no there. See you later. We can't do anything. So apparently the real estate guy, the customer, is good friends with the brother of the San Mateo County Police, or San Mateo County Sheriff's Office, the sheriff, who was in his last year. He was retiring at the end of his term. He made a phone call with him directly and got him involved in this and came up with documentation to show that, and try to have a stolen vehicle report done on a vehicle that did not exist. So yeah,
Oh, that's fun.
and the vehicle didn't exist because it wasn't made yet. There's no VIN assigned to it until after it's been completed.
Yeah, it has to be
Then
completed.
there's a VIN number, right? It only falls under a manufacturing in-line number, meaning what line are you in the queue to be built? And I think his number was 28 or 29. So what had happened was because he either refused to make a payment, whether it was the final payment or not, the customer refused in the dispute with the manufacturer. The manufacturer contacted the guy who was in line behind him and said, "Hey, I can boost you up in line because the guy in front of you isn't paying. So we'll build your car next, or we'll complete your car next. And provided that you pay me, pay the correct amount of money."
Yeah.
So that ended up happening, but okay, I'll just keep reading this here. This is, I guess, a quote from the board president. I don't think there were any great new revelations in terms of facts, the board president, David Pine, said during Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting. The question is, was anything done that was wrong? When you look at the report and you look at the chronology, the question is, was this a prudent investment of county resources? It's easy with the benefit of hindsight, but I don't think this was. I think this was a case that was really a commercial dispute that should have been resolved in civil manner. Supervisors voted
So now the county's in trouble
to release the 47-page report. Well, no, the county is actually trying to find out who screwed the pooch, because basically this is going to. We'll give you some more information on this. So the supervisors voted unanimously to release the 47-page report by Winifred Smith, a retired Alameda County Superior Court judge and former Deputy Attorney General in the California Attorney General's office, who now works as a consultant with the firm ADR Services. Smith was tapped to conduct an investigation into decisions by the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office to investigate a potential case of fraud surrounding the purchase of a replica 1966 Batmobile. Bay Area real estate broker Sam, paid Fiberglass Freaks, a shop in Longsport, Indiana, owned by Mark Logan. Okay, thank you, Logansport, Indiana.
I actually know this guy. I ran a part store up in Logansport. Yeah.
Okay. Mark Raycap. Okay, yeah, owned by Mark Raycap. $210,000 to build the replica vehicle. He did not receive the vehicle after making payments over a period of years from 2017 through 2020. And this guy, Sam, filed a complaint with the Atherton Police Department in mid-2021. The department referred the case to the DA's office following its investigation, but the office ultimately declined to file charges at the time. The San Mateo County Superior Court also dismissed the civil case against Raycap after deciding the matter should be taken up in an Indiana court. Despite the DA's office declining to take on the case, then Sheriff Carlos Bolanos directed Lieutenant Commander Michael Leishman as leader of the Vehicle Theft and Recovery Task Force to investigate the case after Balanos received a direct call from Sam, briefly detailing his take on the potential fraud in the late 2021. The investigation would eventually lead to 4 sheriff deputies, including Lashman, traveling to Indiana to conduct a raid on Raykop's shop with support from the local law enforcement and the intention of extraditing Raykop. According to the report, officers did not find a complete Batmobile during the raid, and it was believed that Raykop had accepted a wire transfer of $40,000 from Sam under false pretenses after selling his Batmobile to another purchaser. Days before the raid, Deputy District Attorney Maria McLaughlin filed 2 felony complaints against Raykop, unbeknownst to District Attorney Steve Wagstaff or Chief Deputy District Attorney Sean Gallagher, according to the report. Ultimately, Wagstaff made the decision to dismiss the complaint after learning of them through the media reports and seeking additional information on the facts of the case. He told Smith, no conflict of interest was discovered, he said to Smith, but he decided a San Mateo County juror would not convict Raykop based on the facts. He also told her he didn't think county residents would want the office to spend taxpayer dollars on the issue. There's a general philosophy in the district attorney's office that if a party files in civil court to resolve a business dispute and the case is not successful, they cannot use the district attorney as a tool to go after the personal criminally. Read the section. Of the report pertaining to Smith's interview with Wagstaff, the Batmobile case fell into the category of cases that should have remained in civil court. In retrospect, Wagstaff told Smith he would not have filed a criminal complaint given the facts, but said his experienced prosecutors may have seen the case differently as they were making decisions in real time. Alternatively, Bolanos told Smith he would not change how the matter was handled. So, yeah. So, yeah, and so the legal conclusions are made in the report, and Smith did not share any opinions on civil or criminal liability, but she did suggest that some procedural changes could reduce the likelihood that a future investigation would spark public distrust, as the Batmobile case did. So, basically, the story, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Steve Leto Law Channel. He actually went over this complete report. It was about almost an hour-long video. I think it was 45 minutes. It's a long one for him. And he went through this thing, with a fine-tooth comb. And because he's been reporting on this ever since this thing started, the original raid and everything like that. The funny thing about this is also in this report, the investigator, the judge, pointed out that the team of 4 sheriff's deputies and Lashman who went to Indiana the day before, I guess they had a meal at a local diner, and I guess they started asking a lot of questions and made their presence known and what they were doing there. So it's not like they were doing a professional job or anything like that. The bit about the real estate guy contacting the sheriff, he contacted him directly. So he had a personal, intimate knowledge of him, and they knew each other. So he basically was doing him a favor. The sheriff did the guy a favor by basically sicking the lead of his automobile task force, theft and fraud on this guy out of Indiana.
I actually feel bad for Rackab in this. I mean, you pay those fees while you're in queue, and they don't build yours until you've paid
Yeah.
the invoice, right? So you have to pay the deposit, and you have to pay off the deposit, but before they start the vehicle, building it, because they are one-offs.
Right.
They're incredibly expensive. The parts are sometimes hard to get, and I mean, they're building this from fiberglass from the ground up. They use a frame. Some of the parts, I think I've ordered some Batmobile parts in the past. Because in Logan Sport, I actually managed a part store up there. There was 3 part stores, and mine was killing it.
Nice.
And so it just sounds like this guy wanted to jump the line. Yeah, he just wanted to jump the line. He wanted his car already, It's like, but dude, you're not next. You're in queue.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when he said, well, I'm not going to pay off the balance. It's like, hey, it's your turn. Pay me the rest of the money. We'll get you a car. And he's like, no, come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was away to say. We don't know what the contract was. So obviously there's a contract between them. So I don't know.
Yeah, and the contract probably had the stipulations in terms of the of payment plan and all that other stuff like that, and time frame. And when you're dealing with something like this, a high-end custom, one of each single one is handmade and is unique in and of itself. So. Yeah,
I didn't know Racket was the only one building these things, which is cool.
Yeah, according to he's the only licensed by DC.
So
by
licensed,
DC Comics,
okay.
yeah, by DC. He's the only one in the United States that
he can make them official.
This model.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video. I think I saw a video of them actually years ago. I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
They're quite impressive.
The funny thing, oh, dude, they're awesome. I would love to see, oh my god.
Looks good.
$250,000 for that's a steal, actually.
Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, it's a handmade, one of, exact replica of the original 1966 Batmobile.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got $250,000, it's worth spending, I guess, right?
Okay, question. $250,000, any Batmobile. Which one would you pick? Go.
Oh. The big one with the giant wheels that
Tumbler.
Christian Bale, the Tumbler, yeah.
The Tumbler.
That's my Batmobile. Yeah.
Crual?
I don't know. I'm thinking the 60s one. I quite like that.
Speed round. Wookie, what you got?
Oh, yeah, this one right here, 1966 Ford Futuro one. Yeah, absolutely.
1986 Batmobile. Have to have it.
That's a great one, too, yeah.
That's a good one.
Pick.
If I pick one.
Yeah, that's a good one, too, yeah.
With that big on the front.
Yes,
that's
yeah. But like the Tumbler is like close second, but if I have to, it's the 86 Batmobile. The Tumbler's just a tank. God, I love it. Damn it.
Yeah.
It is pretty much a tank, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking we 86. Yeah, 86. All right, go, Wookie. Speed round done.
I like the 60s.
Chat, what do you think, chat?
What's going on, chat?
Yeah. Go on. Let us know which Batmobile you would pay $250,000 for.
Okay, so
honestly, I would not.
$50,000.
I would not spend $250,000 on a car.
Also, Socrates says that some people are too greedy for their own good.
There's got to be a car. Oh my goodness.
But
Okay,
then
ready?
he also says, moral of the story: wait your damn turn. Yes, wait your turn. You gotta,
like a bloody,
wait your turn.
like a bloody queue jumper, isn't it? Yeah.
Right.
I want my car already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how this thing works, folks.
No,
Yeah,
You know,
they've
it's
got a-
interesting because if you
it's
look
not
at that
exactly.
story of the Batmobile, he missed a $20,000 payment. And the guy actually waited 9 months before he even was like, hey, look, we need that payment or we're going to queue you out of it.
Yeah.
And the guy kind of called it bluff and they queued him out. They said, fuck it. That's how that whole thing really started.
That's how the contract works.
Yeah, pay the fucking money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's labor, there's parts, you know what I mean? And if you're
It's
gonna
not
buy
like the guy didn't know he had to make the payment. It's like,
well, the thing is, if you're gonna pay $250,000 for a car, $20,000 is nothing. I mean, in the aspect of things, if you're willing to spend $250,000 for a car, 20 grand is a drop in the bucket. So, I mean, this was just laziness. And I mean, the other guy, there's campaign contributions involved in this whole story. There's some political. It's a very interesting story, but I actually look a little bit on it. All the charges have been dropped. Yeah. Everything's over.
Well, if you look at the timeline, it was right around COVID, right? So this guy's a real estate agent. No one's buying houses at the, Yeah. So he's like, maybe he's like, man, I committed, in 2017 to do this, and now I don't know that I can. I don't have a car, and he just thought he could get by with it. Yeah. But no, I mean they've got a nice team over there. I mean there's a handful of people that are working there, but it's not. Yep. I mean it's not like a factory. It's a shop. It's a shop in Logansport.
Yeah.
Commercials.
If you ever get a chance, you should go by there and check it out. Set up a meeting. It's
all
really
right.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a quick announcement, and we'll be right back after this very important.
Have a pizza, pizza, pizza roll. 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 Up to now, a frozen appetizer was a dreadful bomb. It was something you just think and dropped into a potted palm. Suddenly the Geno's pizza roll is here to save the day. Appetizers now at last are edible. That's why we say have a pizza, pizza, pizza roll.
I'd like to talk to you about that music you're using.
That's funny. I've been meaning to speak to you people about the same thing.
Have a pizza roll, Kimasabi.
Look for Geno's pizza rolls and serve this new hors d'oeuvre.
Just take them out of the freezer, pop them in the oven for 10 minutes. That's it.
Who was that masked man anyhow?
I don't know. And I wanted to thank him.
All of those women look like they've been slapped with a slice of pizza.
Could you slap anybody with those pizzas? Yeah. We could throw them, could you?
Pizza rolls are amazing. I have never seen that commercial. I cannot believe they spent so much money to promote a pizza roll.
That was from 1968, and that was a full minute long with the original Lone Ranger and Tonto. That was freaking awesome. And I found that this morning on the internet. Okay. What's up, Willie? You're heavy breathing now. Oh, you're in pain.
You do all these food commercials. Fucking trying to watch what I eat, you asshole. It's fucking not nice. You're a mean man.
You're welcome.
I know what I'm doing when I get off here.
Eating pizza bites.
I'm gonna go buy me some freaking pizza rolls.
Bites.
Yeah.
Pizza bites.
Find me some pizza rolls, man.
Hey, we got Mr. Brown Alliance in the chat.
Hey, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, welcome to the mayhem. The mayhem. So, here we go. Some noteworthy signs. Yes, some noteworthy signs. These are the little chalkboard signs that you might find at a local pub or restaurant outside, inviting customers in. Here we have Fleming's Arms says, "Fat people are harder to kidnap. Stay safe. Eat lots here."
That's a fantastic idea.
Dropping my fucking guns.
Food. We're sending Willie into a spin right now because it's food. Yeah.
Did he just say I'm dropping my guns? How many guns is he hanging out with there at his desk? I don't know. I've only got the one here with me right now. Just give him a little slap.
Just give him a little slap there.
Sometimes you just gotta give him a little slap.
That's right. Yes, a little slap. A little slap. Here's their competition across the walkway. Skinny people are easy to kidnap. Stay safe. Eat lots here.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Not incredibly original.
No, but we do have one that's definitely the soup of the day. Soup of the day is whiskey. Hey, wow. There we go. Soup of the day for all you alcoholics. It's whiskey.
Sounds good.
It's like gazpacho with.
Yeah. Oh man. How you coming along over there, Willie? You all right? Violet, you're good.
He's
You're
muted
unmuted?
again. He doesn't know.
Yeah. It's
He
Yeah,
doesn't know.
I was counting the guns and I was at 7 before you guys started.
Okay.
Up. So
okay.
Lucky
on
seven.
my left
7.
side.
Yeah. Okay. I saw your signal there at 7. So. All right. So, keeping with the theme of food, what is it? You're going to have to tell me specifically the exact name of this food product. Oh, no cheating, Abby, in the chat.
Bro,
Oh.
that's a fucking Mexican pizza, son. I
Yep.
used to make those.
Oh, that looks nice.
I love
That's a delicious.
That's magic. Thank you,
That's the
Luke.
Mexican pizza. It is
What
the
is it?
best.
What
That
is it,
it's
Willie? Since
the
you
Mexican
spoke up
pizza.
first? Yes, it's a
That's the-
Mexican pizza. What?
At Taco Bell,
The Taco Bell. Mexican pizza.
and that is the.
Taco Bell.
It is the.
I want a Mexican
It
pizza.
That
is
is
the
the- That is the
Mexican
greatest
pizza.
food
It's
that has
it's,
ever been
it's
invented.
not the veggie one. It's the real one on the left, which you can hardly tell apart anyway, because it looks like they used the same picture for the
I love
veggie
the Mexican
and the meat one.
They probably did.
I love the Mexican pizza. Ugh.
Oh man.
It's like a spiritual experience.
Wait, something that will kill your guts.
It will.
No,
You
who
get
cares? Who cares? You know it. You know it.
For $5, for
I
$4.99,
know, right?
for
exactly.
$4.99, you can have a colon cleanse
Oh,
Yes, you can.
and a spiritual
what.
journey.
and a spiritual
those
journey.
Taco Bell beans, man. There's something about those. I'll tell you what. They got them in everything.
Crap
Oh,
yourself thin. Crap yourself
so
thin.
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, they'll get you going.
And that Taco Bell taco sauce, nothing is. I don't know, man. Their taco sauce is the best taco sauce I've ever had. I don't know why I love it so much. I can drink that crap with a straw.
I know, right? All right. Yes.
And it's lunchtime here now. You make me hungry.
It is
I know,
time
I am
now
hungry.
for the Creator Spotlight, and we have Luke Stone from Luke Stone Studios.
I'm
and
door
Find
dashing some
My Comment.
Mexican pizzas.
There we go. Get the
Do we clap now?
DoorDash. Do we clap
wait.
now?
I'm
I don't
door
know.
dashing some.
Do we?
I don't know where to put my hands.
I don't
Get
know.
a Taco Bell.
Stop touching yourself then.
I don't know where to. I don't see Luke. No, goddamn, you watch movies, don't you, Luke? You gotta be an aficionado. I don't know where to. I don't know where to
I don't know
put
what
my
to do with my hands,
hands.
yeah.
I don't know where to put my hand.
Mama, I'm going fast, Mama.
Didn't you say if you ain't first, you last? Oh, I was drunk and on LSD, son. Oh, that was such a good movie. Oh,
I love that movie. Dear Lord, baby Jesus. You know he grew up, right?
No, he
I
didn't.
don't care.
In my
I like-
prayers. He's
I like to think of Jesus wearing sandals and like a tuxedo T-shirt. That's what
Dear
I like to
Lord.
think of.
8 pounds, 5 ounce, beautiful little baby Jesus. Oh, it was great.
Thank you for this Taco Bell.
Thank you.
They get to talk about
It goes right back to the Taco Bell, man.
Oh my goodness.
Ah,
Oh, too
What's a
funny.
fucking Taco Bell? I can't even eat Taco Bell. God damn it, man.
You can't eat Taco Bell.
No, bro, right now,
everybody's trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
it's like my kid. What?
All right.
That's awesome, by the way. I love the CP3O.
Yeah, here, let me. I've got a few
Nice.
things over there.
I like
Yeah.
We've
that.
got Vader down there as well.
I have Vader,
mine.
Kylo,
Like that.
the first order trooper,
See, there's
R2,
my Vader's up there.
C-3PO.
Back.
Oh, nice.
Force is strong in this one.
Yep.
Nice. Lightsaber collection.
Yep.
Yikes.
That's
Nice
the Book
collection,
of Jedi
brother.
on the, on the top
Nice.
shelf. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the Book of Jedi on the top collection over there.
Nice.
And down there, right over my shoulder here, that little guy.
Uh-huh.
That's my trash man. For my comic book, that's a bust of one of my characters.
Nice.
So he fits right in with all the other ones.
Cool.
Didn't
All right. Well, Luke, let's start this off. Some basic questions. So, when did you get started in comics, and how long ago was that?
Well, I've been a fan of comics since I was 5 years old. Really got into comics in my teens. Decided about 14 that I wanted to be a comic book artist. Departed from that plan, and wound up, like most small town guys, just started making money doing whatever he could. Started playing in a band. A little bit like, most of those guys that try to make it. I actually did do pretty good for a while, and I wound up leaving that. Going into ministry, ended up in between that, I would do a comic book here or there, some lettering. I worked for a brokerage out of India, so I did some stuff for people overseas. One or two projects every couple of years, nothing big. And then in 2014, I moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Tried to find a band to play in. There was no music scene, unless you were like rap or metal, and I was neither one of those things. So I started thinking about doing a comic book again, but a friend of mine that I grew up with and hung out with a lot, his brother was actually a comic book artist for IDW and did a lot of different stuff, but he took an invention, wound up getting sick, come back home with con crud, and then died suddenly in November of 2014. And it just it floored me. Like, I was like, whoa, that's not cool. He's so young, right? He was just a couple years older than I was. And I'd always kind of lived vicariously. One of us in the group was doing this, one of us in the group was doing that. And I just decided that I didn't want to take my last breath without doing something that I loved, which was making comic books. So I started really focusing on making comic books 2015. Wound up self-publishing my first one in 2016, late 2015, early 2016. And then from there, it just kind of went nuts. And now I'm on book 9 of one title, and got a slew of other stories that we're putting out and producing. And I decided to start a crowdfunding website so that people couldn't cancel me. And so it kind of snowballed. It snowballed out of control. And it's like a gateway drug. You start with one, and then you just go nuts. You just go nuts on it. So.
Now, growing up, what was your favorite comic book?
Oh, easy. It was X-Men. I loved. I really, really loved the Claremont era X-Men, Gambit and Rogue. That was a great storyline. I loved those characters. I just kind of fell in love with all that. I had this friend named Hilton Turner, and we would just make up characters at school, and we had dreams about making comic books and stuff like that. And then we would, obviously, New Comic Book Day. I loved the summer. Summers were great. So we would go ride our bikes to the comic book store. We would buy the ones that we had to have, and then read through some of the other ones that we could. It's like, I don't really want to collect that one, but I want to read it. So we would read a few of them, and then we would check out all the RPG stuff. We would do Dungeons and Dragons or Star Wars, our role-playing games, and we would wind up at one of our friends' houses, and then we would pull our money together, there was this one place in town that had these big 36-inch pizzas, and so we'd order like 2 or 3 of those, and we would eat pizza, drink Mountain Dew, and role play until we passed out. And it's like, and so
you
it
didn't
literally
slap
was
anybody with pizzas, no?
No, we never slapped anybody with a pizza. That would be a terrible waste of pizza.
That'd be a crime.
Yeah, why would anyone do that?
It would be.
Even if we would chuck a pizza roll at somebody, we would go retrieve it and then eat it. It was you don't waste food. We used allowance money and lawn mowing money on that stuff. We weren't, 'cause my mom and dad, they weren't going to support my habits. So I had to work. So we worked, but yeah, Wednesdays were days off for a reason. That was New Comic Book Day and everything. And so, I remember 14-year-old Luke was sitting there reading X-Men and thinking, man, I've had all these ideas and stories in my head, and I was like, I wanted one day to be able to have a book that other people would read and fall in love with. And then I wanted to not just go play role-playing games, but I said it'd be really cool if we could role-play our characters. and, have adventures with them. So I wanted to write the adventures and let people write their own adventures inside of this universe I had. And it took a while. I'm 42 years old, but I have it now. So,
Nice.
so yeah, that's, we're finally there. It took a minute. There was a few detours along the way.
Right.
But, here we are. Yeah.
So what was the inspiration or your motivation for the Fund My Comics?
Well, I mentioned earlier that I'm a pastor. I'm currently a preacher without a pulpit. No longer in vocational ministry. But prior to getting sick with COVID in 2021, we knew that there was some legislation that people were trying to push through that would say if you would preach anything that was of a biblical manner about marriage and sexuality, that the LGBTQ would find offensive, that you could potentially either serve jail time for hate speech, or you lose your church's tax exempt status. And so we were already prepared for both of those things as a church. We had board meetings and stuff to discuss that those things were trying to be pushed through. Well, when I got sick in August of 2021, went into the hospital probably the 12th or 13th, wound up being put in a coma on the 31st, came out of my coma in October. I think it was the 6th or 7th, maybe the 8th, that I came out. So I lived the Green Day song, as I said earlier. They woke me up when September ended. And as I started getting healthy enough to watch TV, and they would turn the TV on for me, and I got out of the ICU, I thought, dear God, what happened? Did I wake up in an alternate universe or what?
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Everything is so backwards and effed up. And so the more I noticed of what was happening, I kind of knew that conservative voices and my Christian conservative voice was probably not far off from being wiped out, And we came back and I started crowdfunding again when I was healthy enough in February of 2022. I got out of the hospital January of 2022. Started getting back into live streaming in February. And I was still on oxygen. My voice was still pretty rough. Still in a wheelchair most of the time. And in the process of relearning how to walk. But my mind was super sharp. And I saw that this guy Vaughn was having trouble getting his money after his campaign had funded. So it wasn't just that he wasn't able to get on the platform. He got on the platform and he funded. And then they didn't want to give him his money. And I was like, ooh, that's rough. And then I saw it happen to Broken Compass Comics. And with this little campaign, sub $2,000, I think it was. And I'm like, they care about these little campaigns? That's jacked up. And then I started learning about the shadow banning. And so as some of this stuff was happening, by about March, I decided I was going to figure out how to crowdfund my own stuff from my own website. And so I started looking into a bunch of different things, and I found white label developers that had infrastructure that you could basically lease, or use for your stuff. And I started looking into it, and then I built something. I crowdfunded the remastered edition of my Volume 1 trade paperback from my own website, and successfully funded it and fulfilled it. Easy peasy. And then I was approached by Telepathic Bunny Comics. Primarily, he was really insistent. And then a couple other people that said, hey, you should use this for something else. More people should be able to use this. Because I had told him that, hey, it turns out with what I'm using, we can have multiple users on there. And the hardest part is processing your payments and making sure they go in the right, all that money's handled the right way. I said, but, I can figure that out. And, I can use this, and then maybe a couple of you guys, if you want to, can use it. So it was really, I want to make comics and leave me a hell alone. It was, this is my yard, and I was going to, play in my yard and stay there. And others could come play in there too if they wanted to, but it was only going to be a select few. But I was heavily encouraged with all of the shadow banning and everything else to kind of scale that up. And I So I decided that, maybe I should. And that's kind of where it came from. We decided to name it Fund My Comic. The original website was just the Luke Stone Crowdfunding Network. And it said, deplatform this, hashtag uncancelable. That's what it said. And I decided to be not so aggressive with my kind of my FU mentality on that one,
Right.
and kind of scale it back a little bit. And that's really where it came from. Pixel Trader said, I was, asked our group that we hang out in. I said, I need a name. What should I call it? Pixel Trader says, it's a shame Fund My Comic's not available. That'd be a great name. And I looked real quick for the domain. It was available. I said, well, it was available, but unfortunately I bought it. And so we decided on the name, and we had bought a couple other domains for it as well, but we decided on Fund My Comic being the one to go with. Right. And then I met another developer that said they could do some work for us, and they kind of fell off track a little bit. So we wound up going back with an older developer, and back and forth, we wound up making it happen, working with lawyers and accountants, making sure our infrastructure was where it needed to be for the processing on our end, making sure the banking stuff was there for processing on the payment end, making sure all the paperwork was there for legal and accounting. It became a big headache that I originally did not want, but I started to realize that everyone really needed. Someone was going to have to do it. Everyone kept saying we needed a new platform. We needed a new opportunity that really just focuses on freedom of expression and the art and not the politics. It doesn't matter, what you believe or who you voted for. You shouldn't have to go hungry and not be able to feed your family just because someone is upset with your voting history.
Exactly.
Screw that. That's stupid, right? That's not the American way.
No.
So that was the pushback, it's like, so it kind of became almost like a righteous endeavor for us to make this happen. Have a safe place for people that were in Comicsgate to go to, but a safe place for everybody to go to crowdfund.
Yeah.
Whether I agree with you or not. We had to have some guidelines and some rules for the yard. People's like, well, you gatekeep. And I'm like, well, a little bit. It's my yard, so I'm going to keep the gate. We're going to make sure nobody screws this up for everybody. So we have a few rules as far as what can be presented on the campaign page. To keep it to keep our partners happy.
Right.
We don't want Stripe getting upset or our infrastructure people to get upset with how we do. We want to be professional. There's no need to be unprofessional. You can still have complete freedom of expression, complete independence, and be tactful and professional. So that's kind of our goal and what we're doing. And we curate, what gets put up there, but we knew that we needed to. Like, we knew that this is what we needed. That the all of these places, they wind up getting these trust and safety boards in place. And I know what trust and safety means. It means censorship. And I hate censorship. So we knew that what we would have to do would have to be more of that it had to be guided by number one, constitutional rights. Right? Then it had to be guided by kind of what I think are God-given rights for people to be able to, have free speech and to be able to think for themselves and to create the art that they wanted to. And so that had to be the core of what we were doing. And then making sure that we were allowing creators to have as much flexibility to run their business the way that they wanted had to be a core value. And then on top of all that, we wanted to make sure people trusted not only the platform to refund their money out of nowhere, to not kind of do all this stupid stuff that was happening with Indiegogo and Kickstarter, but to also have trust with when you back someone on the platform, you're going to get your stuff.
Right.
So we decided we could just do a crowdfunder site and just let everything go and let it be the Wild West, but we decided not to do that. So we actually help people build their campaigns, give them encouragement and help them make sure their campaign looks good, but make sure they're also ready to not only just fund, but fulfill. Because we understand that funding, we all think that's what a successful campaign looks like, but that's not success. Success is fulfillment. It's getting the book in the hands of the backers. That's the end of that campaign. That's a successful campaign. funding is only half the goal. And so we wanted to make sure that we were putting in tools and resources for people to be able to do that as well. So what went from just, I want to make my own comics, be left all alone, turned into this big, massive endeavor that we've been working on for over a year. And so we finally launched 3 weeks ago. And, we kind of launched quietly in the night. We kind of like the Colts leaving Baltimore and coming to Indiana. We just did it late on a Friday night. We had the developers switch over we ran test mode for a week, and then with a few creators on there just to kick the tires and make sure we had everything in place. And then we had them turn on switch the domain over to be active on a Friday night. So about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, it went live, and people could start going and signing up. And we had things that were already built and funding, and so we've just been trying to get the word out. Last night we launched John Dillard's book. He's exclusive on Fund My Comic now. He's raised over $1,000 in the last, I think, 17 hours. So that's not bad. We've really been fighting a lot with people talking about traffic, and so I've been doing a lot of education. That it turns out that Indiegogo and Kickstarter, they claim some traffic that they're not responsible for. Like, for instance, I ran Rift Riders, and written by Piper Steed, art by John Dillard, and it's a great book. We're getting ready to fulfill. The books should be here next week. Should start shipping out next week. I'm very excited about that. But we raised over $10,000 on that, and if you look at the analytics, Indiegogo's claiming 27% of our funding came from them. But when you look through the list, 20% of their referrals actually comes from what says Indiegogo search, right? And what that means is someone heard about Rift Riders either on a YouTube show like this or somewhere else. They heard about Rift Riders and they knew it was on Indiegogo. So they go to Indiegogo and they type in Rift Riders to search it, and it pulls up their campaign. And so then they back it. So Indiegogo was taking credit for that. So on that massive campaign that we ran, really the only organic traffic that Indiegogo brought us was 7%.
Wow.
So that's all they really brought. And so I challenged people, go to your campaigns and look where it says search. And if it's search, that's traffic that you drove to the site and they just searched your name. Now what happens is, if I would have been shadow banned on that campaign, 20% of my income on that campaign would have been non-existent because they would have not been able to search my name and search the name and find the campaign. That wouldn't have happened. And so that's what shadow banning is doing. The biggest referral point that they really have to offer, they're taking away from creators, but they're still taking 5%. They're still taking their 5%. So we wanted to not only combat those things, we wanted to have a not just 5 to 10% of our audience be into comics and role-playing games and geek culture, which is, we're Fund My Comic, but we do games and comics and all kinds of stuff. But we wanted all of our audience to be that. So we knew that if everybody brought their direct traffic, they can look at their analytics. The majority of their traffic is coming from their YouTube shows, direct links, and the searches and those kind of things. It's word of mouth getting around there. If everybody did that, that would flood the site with organic traffic that 100% of them is into what we're doing. So you have a better chance of converting some of those viewers, some of those other backers into backers for you. Like last night, we did John Dillard's thing. People were looking at my campaign and people have backed it. And I didn't talk about my campaign. We only talked about Buckler, right? So I already got organic traffic last night, more than any of the shadow ban campaigns that I have over on Indiegogo. So traffic has been a thing. It's educating people on that. And then when you break it down, 2% savings doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does add up. It really does add up when you start thinking about it. So for 1% of $23 is 23 cents. So you're saving, if somebody backs a campaign for $25 backing tier, you're basically saving like $1, like a quarter, somewhere in that range. just on the platform fee by itself. So I mean, it's pretty good actually when it all evens out. My math might be a little off because I'm operating on hardly any sleep, but 2% adds up. It adds up, especially when you start getting into the thousands and hundreds of thousands and things like that. It really does start adding up, and so we just wanted to keep we wanted to allow you to keep more of your money, and we do have a tip the website feature, but we didn't want to be sneaky about it, so it populates at 0 to start with, and so you actually have to choose if you're going to tip. But the cool thing is, like our tipping feature, when you tip a campaign, it sends it into the featured perks. So we're not really running off of an algorithm that based on traffic and people backing it. You have to have people tip you. Like if they tip the website, it is a vote of confidence from that backer, and it gets put in the featured pick section at the top. So the more people that back it, the higher it goes in the ranking, and the longer it stays there. So so your backers have a part to play in how you're seen, and then we'll have staff picks that will help focus kind of including this buy one back one mentality that, hey, here's a campaign that could use a few eyes that's really good, and it looks like a good book. Maybe it's not getting as many tips and people getting behind it as, say, book A. So, but here's book B that I think you guys will like too. So we'll have a few staff picks that go up there. And so we're really running this. It's very much curated like a boutique crowdfunding website.
Well, with that tip feature, it seems like it's a very wise way of promotion for everybody involved. Now, I wanted to ask you, what type of qualities did you want in your payment processing company and your choice in Stripe?
I wanted dependability. Okay, I wanted something that already had a great level of trust. Stripe is used by Indiegogo, by Kickstarter, by Lyft, by pretty much most of the apps that you have. I wanted it because it was going to be easier. Secondary was because it would be very easy because most people are already attached to Stripe. So it's not like you're using a service that you've never used before. So there was the trust of, you knew that it was good because you used it and it's trusted by everybody else. You have already been using it, so it's not going to be something out of the ordinary. And they have also not been the problem with the shadow banning and the bannings on these other platforms. It's been the platform themselves bending a knee to the complainers. There's been a couple instances where Stripe has shut down people's payment processing, and people will have you believe that it's due to politics, but I don't think so. Having set this stuff up on the back end, that is not even a concern. It's always business paperwork and being able to prove identity and making sure that nothing fishy is going on. So if you're accounting things properly, I don't think that you're really going to have a problem. We've seen that. When Eric July crowdfunded his stuff from his own website, he did payment processing with PayPal. Not PayPal. He did it. Yeah, PayPal and Stripe. Those were the two that he used. PayPal gave him trouble. Stripe did not.
I remember hearing all about
right?
that. That was
PayPal held his money.
crazy.
Stripe did not.
Yeah.
So Stripe didn't care about the politics and all that. They are just a banker. And PayPal, because they've got trust and safety, they got political with his money. And so I didn't want to use PayPal. I didn't want to, anybody that had a record of being political with the money, I didn't want to touch. And so third reason is because these other two reasons really weighed heavy to put Stripe in the lead. But they also have a reasonable track record of not allowing politics to play a part in their decision making when it comes to the funding or access to funding. And so, so that's why we have backups. And we're actually, one of the things we're considering is building our own payment processing interface, which we can do. Some places do. There's developers that can help us make that happen, but until we've established trust on this end, I mean, if I'd have came out right out of the gate, Luke, hardly anybody knows me. I have a small platform, and I said, hey, here's this new crowdfunding thing, and by the way, I'm in charge of all the processing. You'd be like, I don't know about that. That's kind of a grift, So, but when I say, look, I'm doing this, all I'm focusing on is running the site. I have people that are developers that run our if things are beyond me and Todd to fix, they take care of that stuff. All of your money and all of your information for payment processing is stored by Stripe, who you already use. The money, when you back, the money comes in to our hub account, and it filters immediately into an escrow for each one of the creators. Mm-hmm. Okay, after it sifts off our platform fee and the website tips, that goes into our hub account, and then the other things go there, and then we trigger the payout schedule for each one of those accounts. And it's I don't touch your money at all. Like it's never in a place where I can put it in my bank account. Like Luke will never be able to transfer that money to his bank account. It's not going to happen, because the only thing that I can do as a platform manager there is refund it back to the customer. So I can either give it to the creator or I can give it back to the customer. Those are the only two things that I can do with that money. And I think that adds another level of trust that, there's not going to be any funny business when it comes to that. And so both Todd and I have access to the resources to that account. We're looking at, I think we're going to have to hire a treasurer to handle a lot of this stuff, because we're already about 3 weeks ahead of where the growth was expected. I didn't expect to get here until about a month and a half in. So we're doing well. Yeah.
I watched your Dillard stream and the launch. It's quite exciting. I mean, to see it in real time. You had it up there. You had the homepage up and showing his campaign, and it's real time funding, which was kind of exciting and everything.
I had a little trouble with his. So our customer service, I think, is bar none, which is why I'm not sleeping much, because I'm so hands on. Like I could pass it off to one of our other people that are working on this, Todd, or one of the other people that we have that are trusted admins. But it's. I want you to trust what we're doing and to know that I've got your back and that I'm your advocate in this. So when someone has a problem, I want to jump on it myself, and I want to be there to help figure it out and find the answer and fix the problem. And that way we can eliminate the problem, because it is a beta setting. So we know that we're going to have little things here or there that we need to fix. And so last night there was a little problem with Dillard's funding. He was missing some information on the Stripe side that he was not able to put in right away, and he thought he did, but he had not, and so he was not able to do it for his launch. Well, I have an account set up that is just for receiving money for my business, for Luke Stone Studios. Dillard and I have a relationship of business. I've hired him on a couple occasions, and pay back and forth. And so I said, if you're okay with it, I'll just put in my business account. I'll just attach it real quick, and we'll take payments tonight. And then once you get that sorted with Stripe tomorrow, you change it. And as soon as the money's available, I'll just wire it right over to you. I'll just transfer it right over to your account. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. And so we just right away in real time, we're able to fix that and get on board with it. And so no one at Indiegogo and Kickstarter is doing that for you. They're not like, hey, you go ahead and use some of my, let me go ahead and use my account that I have set up basically just for this kind of thing, just for receiving those funds. And it holds there into a bank account that is not used for anything but paying and payouts for my Luke Stone Studios business. Like my own personal, it's funny because people are like, they don't realize how, I guess, anal I am about it. Like my own personal stuff is not attached to my business. My business is not attached to my personal stuff, even though I'm an LLC and I can file taxes that way. I keep all of that money separated because I'm not going to McDonald's on the money I make off the comic book. So whatever I make, then I wind up, off of my profit, I pay some out to myself, and then use the rest to funnel back into new projects. And so I've got that mentality already, that kind of astuteness. And so the people that have worked with me appreciate that, and they know kind of my standards, I guess, my values there. And so they're like Diller was like, yeah, go ahead and do that. But you're not seeing these other platforms offer that up, last minute to get you funding right away. They're not doing that kind of stuff. And that's the kind of customer service we're offering. We had somebody that misunderstood one of the fields on a pledge on one of their contributions, and they accidentally doxed themselves, and they didn't realize that field was visible to everybody, that anybody could see that.
Oh, no.
And this was at like 1:30 in the morning. And I saw the message. I had just fell asleep. I had fallen asleep downstairs, was coming upstairs to the bed, grabbed my phone, I looked, and I saw the message, and I'm like, oh no. So I came to the office and I fixed it. I was like, okay, let's get that taken care of. Messaged them right away and said, okay, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. And so we found the problem, and, we wound up changing how the site worked based on that mistake, so that nobody else makes the mistake of doxing themselves on the platform, right? So but we wound up doing that. Didn't wind up getting to bed till like 3 or 3:30 that morning. But that's my commitment to making sure the site goes well for people. That they can trust it, and it's your livelihood, man. It's your money.
Yeah,
it's your business, and now your business is my business. Your success is my success. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do make a little money off of this. Not much right now. All of it's out of pocket. But once we do start making money, Todd and I are gonna make a salary, a little one, not much, but enough to maintain our work. I think that's only fair. But you're not. When you tip the website, you're not making Luke and Todd rich. What you're doing is you're paying for upgrades and maintenance on the site. So we are looking at a couple of major upgrades here in the near future. A mobile app for backers to easily be able to shop and to back projects. And we're looking at implementing a shopping cart feature so that you can, instead of doing like an add-on thing, you can actually just set up your tiers like a store, and be able to just go through and add each item they want, and then do with the checkout all at once. So we're working on that, and we're going to work on some back-end inventory management stuff. And so yeah, we have a lot of things that we're working on, and each one of those things takes development hours. And the development hours are expensive. It's like $200 an hour to have a developers work on this stuff and then implement it, and that includes testing and everything. So when you're tipping the website, you're giving us reserve to be able to do that, to pay for those things. And then as users, both backers and campaign managers, when it comes time to make upgrades and we're going to tell the developers what it is that we want, we're going to survey you guys so you get a chance to speak into that. So this really is for you and by you. It's for creators by creators, with creators in mind, with comic books and games and novelists and artists and, the creative folk in mind. That's really what this is all about. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I foresee this being a huge draw for independent creators, both small and large, to go to your site. Fund My Comic, I think, is what's been needed for quite some time in the industry. Everybody has seen the success of the independents going through Indiegogo and or Kickstarter, or moving from Kickstarter to Indiegogo.
Yeah.
And now, you look at the Ethan Van Skyvers, what, him and others have done in the beginning on Indiegogo. It's crazy because I remember hearing the story not too long ago of some creator had a book. I'm not sure if it was it was one of the two major platforms, Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I don't know which, but they had fulfilled their goal. They got their goal, and they still had time left on the campaign. And the creator decided to go ahead, and since they knew the money was there, to go ahead and fork over some money to get things started a little early. And lo and behold, like within a matter of days of them doing that, the site decided to suspend their campaign, even though they're fully funded, and refunded everybody's money, and basically, screwed over the creator.
Yeah.
For no reason really that was given. It was weird. And I remember there's a campaign going through Twitter. People were trying to get a GoFundMe set up for the individual. I think it was a female creator.
Yeah,
actually.
it was Nina Paley or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, well,
Crazy.
see, we have a lot of flexibility and a lot of freedom with that. And how we set up the payments is once you've hit your funding goal. So if you're a Keep It All campaign, that means you're keeping all the money and you've got a plan to print the book whether you hit your goal or not. Now, if you're a Keep It All campaign, and I do a lot of those myself, because we're going to print the book, I'm just trying to recover funds, or I need some more funds to pay for getting things finished to get it out. So let's say you're crowdfunding for a book, you've got 5 or 6 pages done, you need the money to be able to pay your artist to keep production moving, right? Now, when you're running with Indiegogo or Kickstarter, you have to wait till 2 weeks past the end of the campaign's close date. You don't have to do that with us. As soon as the money starts rolling in, we start paying it out to you if you have one of those kind of campaigns, because it only makes sense. It's an all or nothing. I mean, it's not an all or nothing. It's a keep it all. You're keeping all of it, and that way you can start using those funds right away to pay your artists, and to order the trading cards and to get the bags and buy shipping supplies, so that you can do fulfillment faster. Because it only makes sense to be able to use your money when you need it. And if you're running let's say you're running, you've never ran it before, and you say, you might say, Luke, I don't want you to pay me out every 2 weeks. I want you to wait until I've hit my funding goal, then pay it out. Then that's what we'll do. We'll wait till your funding goal and pay it out. You can request how you want that handled, because we are so boutique. It's imagine this. It's customizable crowdfunding for you and everybody else. We even have a widget that allows you to plug HTML into your website and crowdfund on a page on your own website. You can even have the campaign right there in your homepage. So you just tell people to go to mycomic.com, and they go there and they fund it. And they never have to leave your website. You can keep them in your little circle. But at the same time, you can also keep that where it's visible, because we can hide it. We can shadow ban it. We can hide it. But that's only by request.
Right.
But you can keep it live on Fund My Comic. So you're getting residual views over there, but you're bringing your traffic into your own website. And you didn't have to do the coding. You didn't have to do all the back-end setup. It's really super easy, and and you're only paying 3% instead of 5%. So we've really tried to eliminate all of the things that would make people say, I don't know, I think I just want to stick with Indiegogo. At this point, I did talk to one guy. If you're sticking with Indiegogo, I think it's just stubbornness, I think, at this point. I've really tried my best to answer everybody's. Like, give them what they want, and
well, it appears from the features that you were just discussing that you have a better depth website than Indiegogo or Kickstarter in a more personal sense. You're having the creators' needs in mind versus just rolling through a campaign so that you can scrape off your percentage for the campaign. I have heard that, like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, they're wanting to go for more larger value campaigns, like high tech or something like that, where they're looking at funding, 6-7 figure projects, not 4 or 5 figure projects. And that seems like how they've been treating a lot of the independent creators, comic book people. It seems like that's how they're going. They're going that direction.
Well, look, my passion, my love is comic books, sequential storytelling, games, role-playing games, just creative storytelling in general through all of those mediums. I do this because I absolutely love it. Yeah, there's a lot more money in some of those other areas. So having a website that's niche upon niche, it's only because the people me at the top and all the people that I have that we bring on as staff is because we love comic books and we love games. And we want to see you be successful. It's not really, if this gets to the point to where this can be, mostly my full-time job and I can still make art and do all the commissions that I normally do, that's fine. That's my day job. That's what I do. So this is just kind of in addition. I'm not looking to, to buy a yacht. I don't care. That's not me. That's not my style. And not Todd either. Todd works a full-time job. We're looking at this as how can we make this better for the community. I came up out of my nap realizing that I'm still breathing for a reason. And I kind of feel like I'm on a mission from God with this thing because people need it. People need it. In order for me to, and my Christian brethren to be able to have a free speech platform in spite of everything else, I have to offer a free speech platform to everybody.
Yeah.
It's only fair to do it for everybody. And so that's what I'm doing. I feel like there's a noble reason behind it. It's not for money. It's to help people be able to feed their families while doing what they love, and maybe moving from a day job that they hate to doing a day job that they love, kind of thing. That's what it's all about for me. It's not, otherwise we would take 5%. We would do what everybody else did. Our overhead is so small. We don't need 5%. We just don't. We wanted to do 2%. We really did. We only wanted to take 2, but the overhead was a little more expensive than what we thought, and the only way to do it was going to be 3. So, but yeah, it's about the passion for us. And so you're going to know, like, if you come to Fund My Comic, we're advocating for you. We want you to be successful. I want to see $100,000 campaigns, $1 million campaigns on the site. Not for me, but so that if I know if people are making that kind of money on this website, that they're able to live their dreams. They're able to make great comics, great games, great books. They're making customers happy. They're able to feed their family. They're able to find some joy in this world that is really effed up, guys. Like everything is trying to steal your joy, steal your happiness.
Somewhat.
If you can provide joy by making great content and receive joy by being able to do it without stress of finances on you and your family, then my job is done. That's what I want to do. And you can think I'm just pandering. That's fine. But anyone that knows me will tell you that's the absolute truth about me. I don't really care about money.
What you're doing. Oh, go ahead, Cruel. Go ahead.
I was away to say, being a pastor, you'll get where I'm going with this. When you see the madness that's unfolding on and you see it on Twitter quite a lot, it's quite difficult to love thy neighbor and love thy enemy. It makes you want to just slap them in the face with a pizza or something.
I really do. Which I feel like I'm doing way better of a job out of the pulpit than in the pulpit.
Well, you don't have to like the artist to like the art. That's the way I see it.
Right. Yep.
I can like art and not like the artist. Same thing with movies.
Yeah.
Look, people talk about Arnold's politics, but I still want to sit there and watch Conan full blast.
Yeah, exactly.
On the biggest screen. I can separate the artist from from the artwork, and I think that's what people have forgotten. You can separate this stuff and still enjoy some. Going a little off topic, I apologize, but I was reading something this morning about Ghostbusters, and a lot of people are already hating on the fact that Patton Oswalt and there was another guy, I just read it briefly, are going to be in the Ghostbusters movie, the one that's coming out.
Yeah,
people are saying we're not going to watch it. We don't want to watch it. I'm like, why? Because the guy has crappy politics. Maybe he's going to play a better. I don't know. I feel very. I'm different about that. I can separate the art from the artist. You know, from their
Yes, I agree with
personal
that.
views. You know,
Yeah, I
Unless it's
personally
R.
don't.
Kelly. I mean, you
I
can't.
can't disagree.
God damn it, Luke! I'm trying to make a fucking point here. Wookie gives me 5 fucking minutes per stream to make a point, and you fuck it up for me.
I'm
You get more
sorry.
than
Look at
that.
me.
You get more than that. Come on,
Look at me, man.
You get more than that.
He just-
He's off. He's
What
on.
the hell?
He gone.
Hell down. Hopefully he'll come back. No.
Maybe.
Oh man, technical difficulties. No, Luke, I think that what you're doing with Fund My Comic is needed in the industry as a whole. It's needed for creators to come to a place they can trust because it's being run, operated, and thought out by a fellow creator. Such as yourself, and I'm sure the people that working with you are in the same mindset as you. They have the same loves. Like you said, you enjoy what you're doing, you love what you're doing, and the money is not the total driving force, but it's nice to have.
Hey, Luke, I have a question for you. I'm sorry, Wookie. I got you, man.
It's okay, man.
What would you say for new creators who are getting into this world now that are interested in getting into the comic book world? Because you do have avenues. Some people, I started learning about this recently. I watch you on the Bacon, on Thursdays, and you can get a person to draw your vision. You can get a person to help you with. But what do you think is the best way if a person has an idea, a vision, and they want to get started in a crowdfunding? What is their best avenue of approach if they're doing this the first time?
Look at what everybody else is doing that is successful. Look for people that are where you want to be, and kind of reverse engineer what they've done and get where they are. Great example is this guy named Hojo, has the Mythicals.
Hojo,
yeah,
His first book, man. His first book. He came on the scene, started watching, started making friends, and just picked everybody's brains. Looked at where he wanted to be and just reverse engineered his path, because part of it is a great idea, right? You got to have a great idea, and you've got to make sure that you're putting together a great creative team. And we all understand those things. Like, you got to get those. But if you want to get people to give you money for it, you've got to stand out somehow. You've got to find a way to have a market. And the best way I found is to listen to the people that are successful and find out what they did, and try to mimic that, try to copy it. And I mean, I guess that's what I'm trying to do as an artist and a writer, is just try to find the formula, copy the formula. But I've realized that there's a statement, they say breaking into comics is a lot like breaking out of prison. Once you do it successfully, someone's behind you trying to make sure no one ever does it again.
Yeah.
I find that to be true.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is make a doorway, not just like find a crack and get through. I'm trying to make a doorway so other people can walk through it too. I know that that's going to be at my detriment, because it has been already. I've got this campaign that's live on Fund My Comic. I've only got 9 backers because I've been, this whole time I've been talking, I've not mentioned my campaign or why you should back my book or why I'm an awesome writer, which I'm all of those things. All of the rumors are true. I'm incredibly brilliant and a genius.
For everybody that's listening and those in the chat, his links are in the description of the show for his Luke Stone Studios website, his YouTube channel, and also the Fund My Comic site, as well as his current campaign on Fund My Comics. All the links are in that description. So please go to those sites, check everything out, back his book, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. There's lot of good stuff out there from Luke Stone. And I think we've got, the beginnings of something great in the Fund My Comic site.
I believe so. I think at this point I think it's outgrowing me. It's more than me now. I refer to the TED Talk a lot about starting a movement. It shows that kid dancing at the concert. Yeah, I'm a kid dancing at the concert, but at some point it becomes a movement, and you don't even see that kid dancing at the concert anymore. And I'm seeing that happening. It's you guys. You guys are the movement now. Dillard's the movement. Hojo's the movement. These guys are coming on and funding comics. Another one that's going to be on Fund My Comic is the Mermaid. That's going to be an incredibly successful campaign because of how they're running that and the work they're putting into it. But they could probably make tons of money on any platform they choose to launch on, but they're launching on Fund My Comic. And so they're the movement now.
When I went to your site, Fund My Comic, I noticed that you have a list of things, a list of the media that can be funded on there that you're looking for. One of them was books.
Yes.
And I know a young man out of England who is a artist, and he's working on a book, but he's been turned down from the mainstream publishing. They pretty much just blew him off. Oh, you're a kid.
Yo, who you talking about, Jack?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, Jack Rabbit. Yep. So,
hey, Luke, you got to check out that guy's channel. Let me see if I could find it. Jack Rabbit. That guy's got some pretty cool, some
Jack
artwork.
Maine. Jack Maine is his name. I think he's about 22, 21. He's a big action figure collector. He has a YouTube channel where he gives a review of the figures that he buys. And he's got a Twitter account as well, and also an Instagram. Great artist. His main thing is rabbits. He's fell in love with rabbits.
I think I've seen his art. He does all the rabbit art, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of rabbit art.
Yeah.
He tells some great stories with the art, and I think he's going to be just a phenomenal person to have a book of, because it's just the artwork that he does with these rabbits, the emotions that he puts into them is amazing. And it's kind of neat because not a lot of people are doing rabbits,
No, they're not.
But he has an entire world. Like you said, you form this world, and you have yourself in it, and you create your character, whatever. That's kind of how he's done it. He's formed his world in this rabbit world, and he has his main characters, and each character has their own personalities and their own, things about them and their trials and tribulations, and it's really cool.
Yes, he could do a book over here. So I wanted to make it for art books, people that were novelists that wanted to fund. Because right away I had people asking, "Oh, can I do my regular book on there?" And I said, "Yeah, you can do that." So I wanted to make sure. In fact, we even added miniatures because somebody said, "Hey, I do miniatures," and the miniatures community hates Patreon, so maybe they could come over there. And I said, "Yeah, feel free
there you go.
to use our services because we can do a little bit of that." You can function as like a storefront on Fund My Comic. It doesn't necessarily have to be a campaign that you run for funding, but you can set your goals. And here's the fun part. So if you're running a continuous campaign and you have a goal that, hey, I need to, once I sell $1,000 worth of stuff, I'm going to buy a new 3D printer. That's my goal. Put that in your campaign page. Let people know that. And then once you've met that goal, guess what? We can edit all that. We can change the funding amount and we can change your goal, so that you can then meet another goal. Like you can reach another milestone. And so we just add that on so you can keep adding milestones as you go. And so there's a lot of freedom that we have, a lot of ways that we can use this site. It's very clever, the infrastructure that we have. And we'll soon be able to host, I think, 2 more sister sites that will do other things. One of the things that I'm looking to implement, and I know we've run long. I know we've run longer than you normally do. I just want to say this before you close things down.
Sure.
One of the things that we're looking to implement, hopefully by next year, by 2024, is a sister site that allows retailers to log in and use the site as a kind of an on-demand service. So if you have funded a comic on Fund My Comic, it's been successful and it's been fulfilled, you can opt into this other site where you basically give us your print files, okay? And we manage this for you. We set up the printers. We have printers that we use, and we handle the distribution to the retailers. Retailers come on and they buy your book at a discount, a heavy discount. Basically, right now, I'm bouncing around the idea of the print cost plus $1 or plus 50 cents. So a quarter would go to the creator, a quarter would go to the website. Is how that would work. And so we would take, or maybe a different percentage wise, like maybe 70-30, like you create, if we do 50 cents more above print cost, creator keeps 70, the website takes 30 or whatever. But we handle all the printing. We send the files to the printer. And when the orders come in, we say we need X amount of copies shipped to this store, and the printer takes care of that for us. So they print it and they ship it to that store. And you basically are sitting there playing video games or doing dance contests with your kids and making money on direct retail stores. That's kind of the idea.
That sounds like a great concept.
I thought it was.
I have a retail background myself, so yeah, I think that would be a great way of distribution as well. I mean, you got instant distributor right there in a retailer.
Yeah. Once we create the supply, which is the books that have funded,
right,
and we have the demand, which are the people that are coming in and buying the books, we can then tailor to retailers.
Mm-hmm.
We can cater to them a little bit because we all love comic book shops. That's where we all fell in love with comic books to start with.
Oh, yeah.
And so we want to do things to help with that. And I do. I actually come from retail management. I do retail management. I managed a parts store. I was the youngest GM in the district, and I trained more store managers from hired, bringing them into the store, to sending them out to manage retail stores than any other manager in the company did.
Nice.
So yeah, I was very astute at business management. And
There
so
you
even
go.
though I'm an artist, don't just think that I'm an artist, that I'm a flaky artist. No, I'm definitely a businessman first.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
I'm just a very nerdy businessman. Obviously.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Right.
I worked for Toys R Us for 6 years as a manager, so that was back at the turn of the century too.
Yeah.
So from 99 to 2005, and but it was a good time. Cost me a lot of money though. Holy smokes!
Yeah.
Because I was buying all kinds of stuff with my employee discount, all kinds of goodies. So I want to thank you for being on.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having
the
me on
show
to talk
today. I
about this.
really appreciate you coming, spending time with us today, and sharing with us your experience and talent and Fund My Comic. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to see this, grow and grow and grow. And considering what I saw last night on that live stream with Dillard and his campaign, things are going to explode. And I'm really excited for the independent community. It's gonna start rolling along really well.
I think so. I'm looking forward to where we're sitting in a year.
Yeah. I look forward to that other project coming to reality as well. That'll be an awesome thing.
Yeah.
For everybody. Well, I want to thank the chat, everybody in the chat that came today. I see Time Prophet, Abby, someone's in there. Hostman Socrates was in there. There's a couple other people. I forgot your name. I'm sorry, but I want to say thank you. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Everybody who's watching and those in the chat, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And then also click the notification bell, all notifications, so that you get notified when I have the streams. I want to thank my panel. I want to thank Luke Stone, of course, for being our guest today. We really appreciate your
My
time.
pleasure.
Crual Birab as well. Thank you, as always, my friend, for coming by, being on the panel. And the latest and greatest
Thank you for
File 13 graphics.
I am the best. Everybody have a good weekend, by the way. Enjoy the
Yes.
weekend, folks.
Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you
Yeah.
next Saturday
Yeah,
at the
everyone
same
have a good
time.
weekend.
And be
Adios,
good
muchachos.
and do something awesome this weekend, everybody. Do something.